All right, so I'm really excited today. We have a guest speaker, Michelle. She's the one who is the creator of the curated community, which is the content that I purchase for my sisterhood community, which I know a lot of you have seen because you're in there. Um, she also does have a free group called the Social Media Butterfly that she has a lot of awesome content in the unit section. I think George is in there, videos on how to build Instagram, how to, do hashtags, like so many different things. I've gone through all the videos in the curated community and about half the videos in the Social Media Butterfly. And it's cool that it worked out this way, that she happened to be on the call because I'm like familiar with the content. And I was like, I'm really excited for you to talk to the team. She's in Canada. I met her through Bria, we're still success partners. We just haven't talked in a while, I guess. We kind of took a little break from that, but she's her cousin, and she's been working for her as her assistant for however many years. And she's going to share with us how to build relationships through, from taking them from, off Instagram into a free community, how we nurture that relationship and build it and help them to make shifts in their lives and impact their lives in a positive way. So
awesome. Thank you, Marissa.
welcome, and thank you so much.
That was a beautiful intro, so thank you. So let me just pull up my presentation here. Let me know if you can't see anything or if I'm in the way or whatever. Okay, so I'm super excited to be here. Thank you so much, Marissa, for inviting me on Aloha Team Call. And I'm really excited to help you guys dive deeper into how you can really develop these relationships to create an impact and really ultimately grow your business. So I'm going to just give you a little intro on myself. Marissa did a great job of it. But ultimately, I'm Michelle Gadd. I'm from Ontario, Canada. And I have a passion for helping Beachbody coaches really understand how they can work with the algorithm to grow their business on social media. So I am hashtag Instagram obsessed. I love Instagram. It's pretty much my jam. It's kind of how I got started. And then I'm also a content creator. I created the curated community, which Marissa is a part of, and it's a year's worth of fitness-inspired content. I also write content for a registered massage therapist and a tourism company based out of British Columbia. I'm also a digital designer. I build websites, graphics, and I ultimately am a digital nomad. It was the whole reason why I really wanted to build my business online so I could travel the world. And in regular times, I probably wouldn't be at home right now. So let's start by talking about the fact that there's really three different types of entrepreneurs. There's the doubters and the comparers. These are the people who are always looking at everybody else's stuff and wondering why they aren't where that person is. And then you have the hustlers without a cause. These are the people who they know what they want, but they aren't sure how to get there. So they kind of do a little bit of everything and then almost get overwhelmed and do nothing. And then you have the go-getter influencers. These are the people who know what they want, they know how to get there, and they do what they need to in order to succeed. It doesn't matter if you're one of the first two, don't worry about it. By the end of this training, we're gonna get you to the go-getter influencer. We're gonna teach you the steps you need in order to succeed. Okay, so how you do that is you have to stop with the hey girl sales pitch. If you are sending a message to somebody who you have never talked to before and asking them to buy from you, this is just wrong. This is where you ultimately haven't created that know, like, and trust bond where you stopped selling and you started sharing and you started building this relationship with someone. If you don't have the know, like, and trust bond, you ultimately don't have a sale. Think about it this way. If somebody asked you to marry them, if you didn't know, like them, or trust them, would you say yes? Because ultimately when someone's giving you their money, they're like marrying you, right? They're committing to you. So you need to really build this in order to get someone to commit to you. And I'm going to teach you how to do that. So inside this training, you're going to learn how you really can increase your engagement by building connections with people you're already following. And then this is ultimately going to also help you gain Instagram followers, because I'm going to teach you all about my hashtag Instagrowth guide. And then you'll also know when and how to invite to ultimately become that go-getter influencer. Okay, so I'm gonna go over the steps of the Insta Growth Guide. If you need a little bit more help after this or have any questions, I will answer questions at the end, but ultimately I'm teaching this inside the Social Media Butterfly, which Marissa told you about is my free Facebook group. So if you want to kind of get more information or feel like you just want to dive a little deeper, you can go in there. I haven't even finished teaching this to my group, so you're actually learning something that they haven't even fully learned yet. Okay, so step one of the growth guide is you really got to do your research. You need to know about your target audience in order to sell to them, right? So you need to know, where are they hanging out? What are they liking? What products are they using? What hashtags are they using? So, all right, and so how you would do this step is you would look at somebody who is maybe already one of your customers. It might be somebody who you've really built this connection with, but they haven't quite bought from you yet. Look at these people's accounts on Instagram and get to know them. What kind of products are they following? And what kind of people are they following? Write down accounts, write down hashtags, and I'm going to teach you how you can use this to ultimately find your people. And I'll show you how to do that at the end. So ultimately, step one is doing your research. Find out the most you can about your ideal customer. And this is different for everyone. I'd love to be like, look at this, these 3 accounts to find your people, but everybody has a different target audience. It's the people that you're trying to talk to. It's the people you relate to, because ultimately you want to grow your team of like-minded women who ultimately have the same goal, or men, sorry, women or men, that have the same goals as you, because ultimately in the long term, if you build a team that is passionate and you're going to get more retention and you're ultimately going to grow your business. So doing your research is really, really huge. Okay, so the second step, which is going to really drive your engagement, is be social on social media. I can't say this enough. That's what it's meant for. So how you can do this step. So these are all things that you can be doing in your power hour. So when I say be social on social media, I mean, so write these things down. So like 25 people's comment or photos or posts. All you have to do is literally go to your feed and like 25 posts. You leave 10 authentic comments to your followers. So you can go into your followers and go through them, go to their profile, pick a post that you really resonate with and leave them a comment. If you go to someone's page and you don't resonate with them, they don't seem like your type of people, if you're following them, unfollow them and just don't leave a comment. So, and then the next one is tag a coach or a challenger in a post, right? Because now they're going to get a notification that you've tagged them, and this can help you really build that relationship. So if you've been talking to somebody about something and you see it on social or you see it on Instagram, tag them in it. Right? Then they see that you notice them as well. You make them feel valued. Ultimately, you want to be the leader in your business. And I like to believe that in order to be a successful leader, you should lead by example. And by doing this, by liking people's comment or liking people's photos, commenting, by engaging with them, you're showing yourself as the leader because you're showing up. And then the next thing you can do here in being social on social media is you can save a post. You can save a post and share a post. So I'll kind of go over all of this at the end on Instagram with you, just briefly. So that's how you can be social on social media. So the next thing you need to do is really tidy up your account. If you're somebody who's following more people than are following you, you should probably unfollow some people. And when I say this, I'm going to tell you this and make sure you're listening because it's very important. When you are unfollowing people, Instagram has a set number of people you can follow and unfollow in a day. And depending how new your account is, will decide whether this applies to you. So typically for older accounts, I would say over a year where you're posting consistently, you're showing up on here and engaging with people, the maximum you can unfollow in an hour is 200 people to a maximum of 1,000 in a day. So you don't want to be unfollowing more than 200 people. Okay, this is really, really important because if you constantly are unfollowing mass amounts of people in a day, you're going to be put into Instagram jail, and you can ultimately, it could really ultimately screw your business, because if you get put in there too many times, Instagram will stop showing your content to other people. So just make sure that you're very, very conscious when you are cleaning up your account that you're not unfollowing, like mass unfollowing tons of people all at once. And you can unfollow people, and when you're unfollowing them, it doesn't update the number at the top. So if you get out and go back to your profile, it will update then. So just keep in mind how many people you started with when you started unfollowing, and then how many you have at the end. Okay, so just be very aware of that. And you ultimately want to be following less people than are following you, because the next thing is you're gonna create these new connections. And this is included in your 200 people, right? So if you're cleaning up, I always like to do like a cleanup in the morning and then say add people in the afternoon, or like kind of just not do it all at once. But creating these new connections is going to really grow your Instagram following. So what you're going to do here is you're going to take what you learned in step 1 in your research of what are those products, what are those services that people are following, and then you're going to go into these accounts and see if they're following your, or if your audience that you're looking for is following them. Again, I'll show you how to do this because it can kind of be a little wordy. So, but ultimately, so you'll go in, actually, I'll just show you right now so we can do it as we chat. So I found this Flourish pancakes. They're a superfood protein pancake mix that a couple of my followers were following. So I just went into their followers and I just clicked on a couple people. So this lady, she bakes, she speaks English, so that's great. And it depends who you're looking for too, right? Like I'm just kind of being generic, say I'm looking for people that love to bake. All right, that's gonna be my instance here. So there's this person, they're into books, that's okay. They seem to live in my area, right? So you just go through and make sure that people are within your target market. And then I would go to either one of their newest posts or even in their followers. So you can do this 2 ways. So you can like monetize on this page, almost like come back for more when you've done it. So I'll say, click this image, and then I'll go down to their follow, like the people who have liked it. And anybody like this person I would not follow. They don't have an image, and their name isn't, I'm not quite sure if they're English or not. Like, so you just be very careful. I also am only looking for women. So I would just go through, it's very mindless. You don't have to think about it, and you literally just follow. And I like skip any males because I'm not looking for males, right? And then I'll go through, I'll follow 50 people, and then I'll go back through, and anyone that says following, I'll go into theirs, and this is where I will leave 10 comments, okay? So you'll go back into 10 different people, and you'll leave them an authentic comment on one of their posts. So I'll read this. So 1 month, okay, so I might say, happy 1 month to your little cutie, something like that, right? And leave something authentic for them, and then I'll just literally go back and do that for the next 10. So it's super easy. You don't need to put a lot of time into it. And then you'll see the people who you follow whose account is private, it'll just say requested. So you can't like or comment on any of their images. So you don't even bother clicking on these people, right? So you can save a little time that way. And then you want to go in, once you've commented on 10 people, you'll go into 10 other people and you'll just like one of their posts. So again, super easy, doesn't have to be anything long, like, right? You just click back and then go to the next one, you know what I mean? And then, so that's what you're gonna do to follow people each month. each day, or in your power hour, however often you're doing it in your business. Okay, so then the next thing is you're gonna open the door for opportunity for the people who have started following you. So what I mean by this is you've just done all these mass followings and your following is going to go up, or you would hope so anyway. If you're doing the work and you're following the right people and you're looking in the right spot, and if you're not growing, then maybe that's when you need to reconsider where you're looking for your people, right? Because if you're not growing, this typically means you're looking in the wrong places. So it's a good indicator. Okay, so to open the door for opportunity is when you start building the know, like, and trust factor and creating this connection. So what I do now is I'll go into my followers and I will go through, I will click on each person, go to their profile, make sure they're within my niche, and I will send them a message. So this is how I go about really opening the door of opportunity for someone. I will go to their profile and visit them, engage with their content. Like I told you about leaving 10 comments, you can even include this in your 10 comments on the Be Social on social media, and then send them a direct message referring to them by name. There's nothing sweeter than someone calling you by name, right? So make sure you say, hey, Michelle, thank you so much for hanging out with me on Instagram. I absolutely love seeing all your positivity and your posts. I've created a free Facebook community where I share fitness tips, nutrition hacks, whatever certain things you share in there, XYZ. If you'd love, I'd love to have you join in the fun. Click the link and let's keep hanging out, right? So this is how I slide into someone's DMs. One, I'm providing them something of value for free as soon as I talk to them. I'm not trying to sell to them. I'm not trying to get something from them. I'm really building this connection with them. A great way to do this right now is check in on people. So you can go to your new followers. You've never talked to these people before, and you can just say like, hey Marissa, how are you doing out there? I know that times are hard and I completely understand. Hey Marissa, how are you doing out there? Things are really hard right now. I've created a free group where women can come or men can come to really enjoy in the laughs and to bring a little light in their life, right? So you can really build this connection with them and still provide value for them, but check in on them. Asking questions are a great way to find out about people. So for those of you who aren't quite sure what a Facebook community is or what it does, is it's ultimately a free private Facebook group where you're constantly showing up and showing yourself as the leader. And it's going to help you, one, grow your audience, warm up your cold leads, and really help you grow your email list in order to make it easier to sell. So what a Facebook community does is it provides you more exposure to these people. Think about it. If you're already posting on Instagram and on your Facebook page or on your own profile, you now have another platform or like another source where it's also posting. So people can see your Instagram posts, they can see your profile posts, but they also can now see your community posts too. So you've enhanced the amount of times people are going to see your content, and it also keeps you top of mind. And ultimately, it's going to create that know, like, and trust factor, because if you're using these people in your Facebook group and you're sliding into their DMs, checking in on them, saying, thank you for being here, being a part of my group, thanks for always showing up, it doesn't go unnoticed, that's huge. You're building these bonds with people that you've never met before. So ultimately, you want to give before you ever take from someone. And you do this by posting consistently and educating. So Marissa did a great job of this. I think she posted like arm or leg workouts. I don't know. She posted workouts yesterday, right? To say, if you want a good workout in 10 minutes for abs, here's a good workout. You know what I mean? Like, you can put things like that in there. Or if you have tight hips, this is a great exercise to open those up. You know what I mean? Whatever you're passionate about, and educate people on that. You can also provide free downloads. This could be a recipe book. It could be a free workout guide. It could be your 2 weeks of free workouts, right? And give them an option for 2 weeks of bod. This could be a free download for you. And you could do it as an exchange for someone's email. So drop me your email and I'll send you 2 weeks of free workouts, at home workouts, right? So you've now just collected their emails, and you can grow your email list as well. So you're going to create another funnel of how to really grow your business. So you can also let them be the first to know when, say, 10 rounds was just launching. You could have just put little snips of like you doing that workout, or being like, does anybody else love boxing? You know, getting people pumped up about things. I always like to say that social media is the biggest house party of all time, and every social platform is its own room in this house party, right? So you got LinkedIn in the study, you got Pinterest in the kitchen, you got Facebook in the basement, and Instagram in the living room. And you meet all these cool people in all these rooms, but you ultimately want to get them into one place where you can show up just there and not have to go hunting for them, and provide them with value. And this is what a free Facebook group does. So it's great because you can make these people feel valued and really grow that know, like, and trust bond between you. So by doing this, you can make them feel like they belong. So, and being a part of your free Facebook group, you could say, you know, if you love being a part of this, imagine what you would get inside of my accountability group. You know, we are even more close-knit in there, where we always are looking out for each other, you know, stuff like that. So make them feel like they belong there, so you can really drive them into your challenge groups, right? Where you build this connection even more. And how you can do that is by posting consistently in your group and asking questions. By asking questions, you're getting to know about your people, and ultimately you can slide into their DMs and send them a message about something that they've already said to you. So you could ask questions like, which is your biggest struggle? Fitness, nutrition, or mindset, right? And then when they've clicked one of those or told you what their biggest struggle is, that's when you slide into their DMs and you say to them, hey, I saw you're really struggling with fitness. What have you tried in the past, and why do you feel like it didn't work for you, right? Because now you know what they've tried, you know why it didn't work, and you know what they struggle with. So now you know what you need to know to provide them with what they need in order to succeed. So once you've built that relationship, that's when it's time to sell, right? So that's where I was saying, take those questions and really nurture that into a relationship. Start the conversation, show up there. You don't want to just be selling to somebody who you've never had a conversation with ever before, right? When I get messages, and if somebody's trying to sell to me before we've even had a conversation, I automatically either block them, delete them, but first I screenshot it so I can share them with you. But just so you know, right, like, it is so important you build these relationships. You don't want to be that salesy, sleazy salesman, right? You want to be the person people come to when they need help. And ultimately, if you're not here to help people, then you're not here for the right reasons, right? So you want to be offering people stuff that can really help them succeed in their life. I know this product worked for you. I know that it's been working for you because you're here. So, but it's not about you. It's about these people, right? Because you've already bought it, but now it's time for them to. So how is this going to help them? Relate it to them. What do they need in their life? What have they tried and didn't work? So why is this going to work, right? So build those one-on-one connections, ask questions, and know your audience's goals in order to sell to them. So ultimately, that is how an overround way of how to not only grow your audience, but really how to sell to them and build the connection in order to create the know, like, and trust bond for them to buy from you. And by showing up consistently, you're going to show yourself as the leader. If you're someone that struggles with that, it's okay, I can help you out. But now you should know from this training how to show yourself as an expert by using a free Facebook group to create this engaged audience, which will generate leads and really ultimately build retention in your business, to create this know, like, and trust bond, and ultimately to create sales. So if anybody is struggling with staying consistent and building relationships in their Facebook communities, or if you're one of those people who doesn't even have a Facebook community, don't worry, the curated community is perfect for you, because it not only gives you 52 weeks of curated fitness and wellness inspired content with images and the posts, also gives you training videos where I teach you exactly how you can set up your Facebook groups to really get maximum results, what questions to ask when people enter in order to get them, one, to give you their email, and so you can ask questions to slide into their DMs and really start building those one-on-one connections with them. And then you also become an insider member of the curated community, where I give out free templates, scripts on how to invite, and really just teach you how you can use this content to grow your business online. They're really great for your free community. You can use them in your social media posts and even in your email series, which I teach you how to do inside of there. So if you're interested in joining, it's $157 for the full year. I will send this presentation to Marissa so she can share it with you. All the links you can click on if you want to become a member of the Social Media Butterfly for free and learn more about the Insta Growth Guide. You absolutely can do that too. So thank you guys so much for having me. This was amazing. I really hope that you learned some little nuggets out of here, and I would love to answer any questions that anybody might have.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Hi, Michelle. It's about when you create new connection. I got a little lost with that. So you went to an account that you liked, like that cooking account, and from there you went to a post, and from the post you went to the likes, and then you clicked on the likes, and then those were the people you followed?
Yep.
The 25? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
You can follow up to 50 in that. But like, if you find that you're getting halfway through and you're like, these people just don't seem like they're resonating with me, just stop. You don't need to like follow these people, right?
Okay.
And when you're cleaning your account, you can even take a look and just see, like, sometimes you might have followed somebody that doesn't necessarily align with you, and that's okay because it's still growing your following ultimately. But just unfollow them.
Okay.
And like, it's okay to follow other coaches too, because I mean, we're all here to encourage each other. Yeah, I mean, you can't expect to make a sale out of it, but like, you know, you can like support each other by following each other, kind of thing, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry, I'm just reading the message from Stephanie. I have had conversations with, money is tight, turn months later out of the blue asking me to buy something. Delete. Yeah, see what I mean? Like, totally. You don't want to receive those salesy messages from people. Sorry, Joanna, were you gonna?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No problem. So I've been practicing a lot of like what, you know, you've said, and it's helped me to create more personal connections so far, which is great. So I feel like I've been growing more personal connections a lot more over the past 6 months. Haven't gotten to the point of actually like inviting to sell anything yet, because I just don't feel like I'm there. But that's probably part of like kind of learning how to get there, because I had to learn how to even interact with these people who are strangers, but now I actually feel like I know them, and I think that they know me. But the problem that I have is, you know, the people who have their Facebook page or their Instagram pages private, those are probably more like the normal people that you'd want to like get to know. You know what I mean? And how do you end up doing that? You just request them and just see what happens?
Yep. So that's when it's kind of like you put the ball in their court, right? You ultimately took the opportunity to follow them. And if they're your people, they're going to follow you back. If they've seen your page and they're like, oh my God, this girl is amazing, or, you know, that really motivates me, or she inspires me, or, you know, they're going to follow you. Or I love her feed, whatever it is, they're going to choose to follow you back. So like when you're mass following people, you can be following people whose accounts are private.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not, I mean, I'm trying to get over that creepy feeling of like, oh, who's this weirdo trying to get me to be my friend? Because that's how I used to be, you know? So it's, but I'm also like, oh, those are probably people that I actually could get along with.
Absolutely. And I think a big part of this is like mindset, is like you need to go into it being like, I'm just looking to help people. And like, I'm here for them when they're ready for me, like, and I'm going to reach out to them and I'm going to do everything so they know that I'm here for them. You know what I mean? So you ultimately want to build those relationships. So even if like, there might be people who are like, oh, who's this creep following me? But they're not your people, you know, like you don't want them. Right? So if they don't like you, you probably don't like them either. Right? So it's really good in that sense, because you can just follow people and just try and get out of your mind and know that it isn't necessarily about like what that person's going to think about you, because ultimately what everybody else thinks about you isn't about, like, has nothing to do with you.
Good advice. I like that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Does anyone else have any questions?
Going off a little bit of what Jonna said, what happens to me a lot of times is after like I've unfollowed people, I'll notice that they like on one of my posts, and then I go to send them a message and I can't because I unfollowed them, and then they
okay, so you can actually still send messages when you unfollow someone. Sorry, I'm just looking up. I want to give you the exact right thing before I say that.
Yeah, I know how to do it.
In the top right-hand corner, right, on the three
Yep.
dots.
Yep.
Yeah, you can click that and then click send a message, even if you're not following them.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, no worries. And then if they're liking your stuff, and just know that if you're unfollowing people and your unfollowing goes down, it's okay. That's bound to happen when you kind of clean out your account. So don't get like, oh my God, 10 people unfollowed me or whatever, you know, because it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I've done that before, where I've like unfollowed people and then I was like, oh shoot, they're like engaging on my content, and then theirs was private, and then I was like, oh, now I can't engage back because I unfollowed them and theirs is private, so I'll just request it again. And
yeah, you can, and like even just send them a message that says like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to unfollow you, right? Because then people are like, why she was following me, like why is she trying to follow me back? Like, sorry Angie, didn't mean to cut you off there.
No worries. First off, thank you so much for like giving us this presentation. It's been really, really helpful. My big question is it better to be posting on our stories versus an actual post? Like which one gives you actually more bang for your buck when it comes to getting people to follow you and to look at your account?
Great questions. Those are awesome. I think they are both very, very important. I think stories are more important that you show up more consistently, like on a daily basis, you're showing up in your stories. Whereas your posts, you can more do it like every other day, you know, and like you don't have to be posting there every single day, right? Whereas stories, like you really want to be showing up there because people, it's like the behind the scenes look into your life, right? Because like your post is this like beautiful thing that you put out to the world, you know, and then your stories is like, yo, this is the real thing, you know, like yes, I'm down for a boomerang too. Does anyone else have any questions? I'm more than happy to answer any. Or
how many people do you unfollow? Like, so you follow 50, do you unfollow 50 at the end?
Yeah, you totally could.
Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely. I almost would say unfollow people before you start following, because you don't want to unfollow those people you just followed.
Okay. I
Does
mean,
that
I
make sense?
probably said that. I think I missed it.
No, that's okay. And when you go to unfollow people, so if you go to your following on your account, some people have this, some people don't. It's called least interacted with when you go into your following. So that's always really good to go through those people and even just see like who you haven't been interacting with that might be your target audience that just kind of slipped through. And then anybody else you can kind of just unfollow. And then there's also this sort. You can sort it. Sorry.
Okay.
Here. And you can sort it in date followed latest. And that's what I do. And then I just scroll like halfway down. So I know that I'm not unfollowing like people I just followed in, say, the last week.
Okay.
Does that make sense? I hope I'm not confusing anyone.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
And I do, if that's a little confusing for you, it's inside the social media butterfly. There's like an actual tutorial.
Okay, I think I'm in that.
Yes, I think you are.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, it should be in there. It's definitely in the units for sure.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks. I didn't know that was there. I never noticed that sorting function. I've been using the least interacted to see who's not engaging, if and I've noticed some people just haven't been on Facebook or Instagram in like 2 months. So I'm like, okay, I don't need to be waiting for those people to show up again. So
totally.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, no worries.
I try to like personally, when I do my like following, I try to wait like a day or two before I unfollow, because I want to give them a chance to see if they see the notification and follow me back. And you just got to remember to go back in and like do the actual unfollowing, or then your following gets, too much. So
like I even sometimes do it in bed in the morning. Like it honestly doesn't take that long. And don't put like a lot of thought into it. Like you don't need to be clicking on every single person's profile. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, I just don't think it needs to be this super long thing. Think of your business profile as your business profile. Like I wouldn't be following anybody who has one of those like little blue stars with the check mark verification on my business page, because they're not going to buy from me ultimately, right? If you want to follow those people, I would suggest having like a personal account, if that is, you know what I mean? Because your business account on Instagram is for your business. You want to be driving sales there. You want to be making it very business focused. So that way, anybody that comes to your page, they know what you do, they know what you sell, they know who you're selling to, you know what I mean? And they can see that in your first 6 posts.
I do have a question. How often do you recommend doing this, like power hour every day, or like
I mean, it depends how much time you have. Like, I think it's very important that you stick to what you have and what works for you. I would hate to be like an hour every single day. And then people are like, oh my God, I didn't get my hour in today, and start freaking out and then not do it at all, right? Because a lot of people, I hear that all the time, is I have too much to do that I don't do anything at all. And I become overwhelmed. So yeah, that's with me on this one.
In the book I was reading today, those exact words about people, how they get stuck.
Yeah, so do what feels good for you. You know what I mean? Like if that means spending 10 minutes on there, then go through these steps, but like wherever you stopped, start at tomorrow. You know what I mean? Because whether or not you're showing up there for 5 hours in a day or 10 minutes in the day, you're still showing up there, right? So like just be kind to yourself and show up when you can, and just do as much as you can. And try not to think too much about it, because it really shouldn't be this like time consuming, take all your energy thing. Like it should be something that comes kind of simply, and like and I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to take longer in the beginning, because you got to find your flow, right? You got to kind of figure out what works for you and what doesn't. And then once you get that, like sometimes I can do a power hour in like 20 minutes, but sometimes, depending on my brain day and capacity, sometimes it takes me an hour and a half, right? And like we're all different, we have different days, so like just be kind to yourself. and do what works for you.
So you could reduce the numbers if you wanted to, like you could do 25 follows and 10, 10 comments and 10 likes or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, like I kind of just gave you those numbers as like, here's a rough idea of like what you should do and like to get maximum results.
And have you personally, do you use that strategy, and has that worked for you to grow your, okay.
Yeah. So that's what I use for, like, I have some one-on-one clients that I run their Instagrams account. Like, this is what I do for them as well.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. But definitely building those relationships and like sending out that message, inviting people into your free community. A lot of people like that are in my free community, that's how they got there, was I sent out this message inviting them. And then over time, obviously, when other people see results, then they start to invite other people into it, right? Like I'm sure some of you were invited from Marissa, or you know what I mean? So that's kind of how it grows too. So it's great because a lot of these times you can build those connections with these people and it doesn't feel like you're coming from a sales point of view. Do
you do the same thing in your Facebook group, or do you just let that grow? Or like, what do you do with the interactions and stuff on Facebook? Because I definitely, Instagram was harder to learn because I was like, I'm almost 40, so I've been on Facebook for a long time. Instagram was kind of screwy. Now I'm getting the hang of Instagram and like it. But now I feel like I don't know what to do with my Facebook group again.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, now do you just let that grow and just try to continuously provide engagement and content in there? Or do you do something to like shift that group?
So in my Facebook group, I show up there 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. I show up there every day and I give tips. I share different stuff to get people engaged. I will give freebies. I will do giveaways, like I'm doing a birthday giveaway right now. And to get people, so it was invite your friends into my group and then tag them in this post, and you get an hour of Instagram strategy session and an Instagram bio, like an overview of your Instagram bio to the winner, right? So like you can do things like that to really get people engaged, get them excited. You could even do like a freebie where you send them like a Shakeology package, right? And like a Shakeology package and maybe like Energize or something in the mail where it's not super, like it's not a big package, it's not super expensive, it's something you already have at home, right? And like then people are like, oh my God, did you see what I just won? I mean, I love winning stuff. Like free is my favorite 4-letter F word. I say that all the time. Like I just love free stuff. And who doesn't? So like having stuff like that, and then you can build your relationships out from that community. So you'll reach out to these people. Like if somebody's always showing up in my community, like I'll send them a message and be like, hey, is there anything you really want to learn in here? I always appreciate seeing your name on my posts. You know what I mean? So like building that connection and like learning what they want to learn about and knowing that what I should be posting about. You know what I mean? So even asking questions, like polls are really great, recipe shares, like tips. So in the curated community, like Mondays are checking in and saying hello to all your new members. Tuesdays are a tip. Wednesdays are recipes. Thursdays are polls. And Fridays like a fun photo, right? Just to get people engaged. Does that help? Or
yeah, okay. It's good. I never thought about getting the people in the group to invite other people into the group. I don't know why, because that's like a normal thing to do on Instagram, and I just didn't even dawn on me that works for Facebook too.
Yeah, that's okay, no worries. And it's funny because like sometimes like super simple things like you just don't think of, somebody says and you're like, oh yeah, like that's so, like why didn't I think of that? And this is something that I had to learn too, that like maybe you need to learn for your community, is people, just because you know something doesn't mean everybody else knows something. Because a lot of the time I'll be like, oh, like they know how to do this on Instagram, and then somebody asks me about it and I'm like, oh, I guess people don't know how to do that, right? Like that's me assuming because I know they know. So that might be something. So if you have this like little nugget of information and you think, oh, well, people already know that. Some people might not know that. So go live in your Facebook group and share it, right? Like showing up and people seeing your face in that group is huge too. Like lives are amazing, or lives. Yeah, I was like lives and then sorry. But lives are amazing because you're showing your face and you're showing yourself as the expert, because anyone can write a post. Like I said, I write for a tourism company, I write for a registered massage therapist. They don't know it's me or them, right? But by showing up live there, people understand like, oh, okay, you're the face, you're the leader, you're the person I'm coming here for.
I just go live once a week because, you know, I'm that person that I'm always like, oh, I'm going to do all these million things. And then I do nothing. I've been that way for a long time in the business. So like when I opened that free community and like had your content, I was like once a week lives and that's it. And then once in a while, if you know, you're feeling like you can go live more often, you can, but don't feel like you have to be going live every day. Cause like if I had to go live every day, then I would just totally disconnect from it. I'd be like, forget it, I'm not doing it, you know, because that would be way too much for me. It would just feel like too overwhelming. So like, again, like Michelle said, do what's comfortable for you, like with the hour, the same thing with like your Facebook community.
Even, it could even be once a month, right? Like if you're that person that's super camera shy, you like get super anxious when you get on and you don't know what to say, I'm going to tell you now, it gets easier. I am that person. I freak out every time before a presentation or a live, and I run over it in my head like a million times. So I get it. But like, even just showing up there once a month, at least you're showing up, right? If you can do more than that, once a week is great. I wouldn't do much more than once a week, because then sometimes like people's time is valuable too, right? Just like yours is. So you don't want to be making these super long lives every week or every day, right? So
I know I get to talking, I'm like, damn, I was 8 minutes. Nobody's gonna watch that. You did have a good tip too that was in your, I think the curated community was, when they come into the group, ask a question. This was a really good tip from the curated community. Ask a question like, what is your biggest struggle right now? Or like, what is your struggle with fitness or nutrition? And then like save their answer before you let them in, before you approve them, and then use that as the topic for your live. Because you said that in your, like the curated, because I listened to all that content. I was like, wow, that's such a great idea. Because I was just like accepting them and like, I wasn't even doing anything with that question. And I'm like, wait, I always ask them for topics on lives and they never tell me. Now I already have, like, I was like, that's such a great idea. So that's the kind of content that she has like in her curated community that like is in addition to that content that I bought. Like she has a lot of videos, Michelle has a lot of videos in there explaining how to really take that Facebook group to the next level. So that's why I did go through all the units and like watched every single one of her videos, because it was like I got a lot of tips in there that really helped.
I hope that you weren't sick of hearing me talk by the end of that.
No, I was like, no, it was good because you did some things you did reiterate like again, and I think we have to hear things like multiple times before we really get it through. So for me it was, and then even like your Instagram, your social media growth, you know, it's like I'm like, I've heard this a bunch of times, but then each time I would listen, I would get like a new tip from you. Like, oh wait, there's another tip. You know, and even today I was like, I wrote down something. I was like, oh, that's another good tip. I don't even remember what it was, but I took notes. So yeah, I mean, you always get little nuggets with each video. So
amazing. Well, thank you guys so much. Does anyone have any other questions or concerns?
I want to do I got a boomerang of you when you were talking, but I want to get one of all of us now that
you'll have to send it to us.
What?
Have to send it to us.
I will. Oh, I'm gonna do it now. I'll post it in my stories and I'll tag you guys. As long as I know where your Instagram is. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. I tagged you in the one where you were talking and you had it up.
Oh, wow.
So you can share because I tagged you. Does anybody else have any more questions for
Awesome.
Michelle?
I'll share it. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Great content. Like this is so freaking awesome. A lot of the stuff that you're talking about is, you know, things that I'm doing, but it's always great to hear and like be like, oh my gosh, but I could do that better. This was amazing. So it was really good information.
Amazing stuff. That's really great. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Michelle. I appreciate your willingness to help. She did help me come up with my new IG bio too. I was like messaging her like all these messages. So she's very much like someone who's a giver and has really good content. So you can, you know, follow her and get in. I highly recommend her free community for sure.
I'll make sure to share the presentation so that way you guys have it if you want to go back to it, and if you want the links and stuff, it's all in there. And again, thank you so much for showing up and listening and for being so engaging, asking questions and stuff. It definitely makes it easier and makes me feel like, you know, I made an impact. So that's great too. So thank you.
Well, thank you. Everybody stay safe. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys later.
Happy Easter.
Oh, yeah, happy Easter if you celebrate. You celebrate. See you guys.